Hi guys, it's Fightsci here with yet another video. Today we're talking about the highly anticipated undisputed heavyweight matchup between Alexander the Cat Usyk and Tyson Gypsy King Fury. Let's break it down. Now basically this is a fight that should have happened years ago. After Fury beat Wilder for the last time in I believe 2021 and Usyk beat Joshua pretty easily both times. This fight should have happened at least last year. But regardless, it's happening now. We're going to be crowning the first heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis in 1999. That's 25 years ago. And, keys to success for both guys. Now, in my opinion, the best strategy for both guys, we'll start with Usyk. His best keys to victory are taking advantage of that southpaw angle, taking the weak side angle on Fury, very much how Lomachenko does to his opponents, and just working off that weak side angle, whether that's a pivot, a forward shuffle, no pivot, or a C-step, or step around, just however he can, taking advantage of that weak side angle. Fury, on the other hand, I think his best keys to victory are and I'm going to talk about this in my next point, are his size, his reach, his ability. I'll talk about this in the technical breakdown, but his ability to frame off his elite lead hand. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Jab joust is going to be key in this fight because it's the open stance. Both guys have an elite lead hand. I think Usyk's is a little better the way he controls punch traffic, but Fury's got a huge reach advantage, and that leads well into my next point. But yes, controlling the punch traffic will be key in this fight, especially because both guys have an elite lead hand. The key factors in the fight are, Fury size. Let's just address the elephant in the room. I can't believe I'm saying this about a 6'3", 221-pound guy, but he's actually small for this fight. Fury is 6'9" and over 250 pounds. He is huge, man. So size is definitely going to be a factor in this fight. The main question is Usyk's skill, because obviously, he's the more skilled of the two. But Fury's got plenty of skill himself, being a former pound-for-pound fighter. Is Usyk's skill enough to make up the size difference? We're going to talk about that and more in this episode of Fightsci. But without further ado, let's get into the technical breakdown. Usyk assumes a southpaw position and immediately feints the jab to the body. Usyk shoves up, trying to see if Bellew will flick out jab. Usyk level changes and loads up back foot. Usyk circling left, usually not supposed to do that as a southpaw, but Usyk wants more leverage on right hook. As a southpaw, for reference, you're usually supposed to circle right, I believe, to offset the orthodox fighter's offense, but clearly Usyk has ulterior motives. Usyk ever so slightly pre-slipping to his lead foot. Usyk pre-slipping the back foot to load up backhand and move his head out of the A slot. Usyk goes from swivel jab and feints the penetration step. Definitely wants that weak side on Bellew. Usyk rhythm steps, same as Loma, which is not good. Obviously, the rhythm step's not a good way to gather your feet. Usyk sometimes backs up straight when he disengages. That suicide against a bigger man like Fury. Obviously, if he backs up straight against Fury, Fury's going to take an angle and back him up either along the ropes or into a corner, so that's not good. Good C-step by Usyk into a level change. Some of the similarities I see between Usyk and Loma is that they both like to throw off their opponents with feints. The difference being is Usyk more likes to control punch traffic, whereas Loma likes to throw his opponents off with head movement and pre-slips as well as his footwork, and Usyk to a certain degree as well. Yeah, Loma definitely tries to get that weak side angle more, whereas Usyk definitely prefers to C-step and cut off the ring and control the punch traffic mainly in the open stance, which I'll get more into later. Usyk circles right on Bellew, finally catches Bellew in a T-stance when he's not facing him. Usyk has great footwork for the heaviest divisions, cruiserweight and heavyweight, which are currently at least the heaviest divisions. There's talk about making a bridgerweight division, which is heavier than cruiserweight and lighter than heavyweight, given how big heavyweights have gotten, but that's neither here nor there. Usyk was squared up with rhythm, step, and range. Can't do that against Fury. Usyk gets hit and cross steps and squares his feet completely up. That's one thing I've never seen Loma do. They have almost the same degree of footwork, but Lomachenko's definitely better. Loma would never make a mistake like that, but I like both fighters. Usyk crosswalks in the range, not good. Usyk pre-slips to the back foot. Tony matches it and knows his head will be on the A slot and hits him with left hook when then Usyk pulls. Every time Usyk gets jabbed to the glove, he rhythm steps to disengage, not good. If he does that against Fury, Fury might try to... If he habitually does that against Fury, Fury might just jab to his lead hand to constantly reset him and have him backpedaling. I could totally see him doing something like a Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko to Usyk. Usyk jabs and parries away Bellew's jab. Great step around from Usyk, plus a fencer jab and level change and control the punch lane. Usyk mostly probing, trying to control the punch traffic. Probes level change, jab and backhand to the solar plexus from Usyk, then pivot into moving laterally. Usyk probes, then follows Bellew out diagonally. Bellew keeps facing away from Usyk in the T-stance. He needs to stop doing... I mean, yeah, that's... Well, we'll get more into that later, but it definitely costs him in the fight. You know, definitely some spoilers. Usyk took 2 extra steps backwards in a straight line. Can't do that against Fury. Bad move despite circling away. Good slip and disengagement from Usyk. Usyk matching Bellew's pre-slips. Bellew can't break the distance. Usyk started to more aggressively pre-slip to the front foot, trying to get Bellew to punch there, as well as load up his lead hand. Really starting to look like Mr. High-Tech himself. By this point in the fight, he starts just looking more like Lomachenko. He looks a little sharper. Great C-slot slip from Usyk. Usyk works diagonally to get center ring. Usyk makes penetration step and hits Bellew with 1-2. Great slip and sidestep disengagement from Usyk. Usyk catches Bellew with the double jab out of T-stance, probably caught on from round 1 onwards because that's when he started doing the T-stance. Usyk goes for a lead backhand to the solar plexus and gets clipped with his head in the B slot from Bellew. However, Usyk follows up with a great C-step and a lead backhand on Bellew. Good shit from Usyk. You know, he's always getting his lick back. Bellew pre-slips and Usyk doesn't react or expect anything. Bellew moves his head off the A slot and Usyk doesn't and gets clipped with an overhand right from Bellew. Usyk uses a C-step, then follows Bellew diagonally to cut off ring. Jab to the body from Usyk, backhand from Usyk, then another backhand and disengagement. Usyk properly disengages and circles off to Bellew's right. Usyk prefers a C-step as opposed to the weak side angle like Loma does. He still takes it, but not as much. Another example of a dissimilarity or a difference between the two fighters, even though they're frequently compared because they're both trained by Anatoly Lomachenko, aka Loma's father, aka Papachenko. Bellew tries to slip off center line and Usyk connects with a backhand flush. Usyk continuously explained the T-stance from Bellew. T-stance is basically when you literally facing away from your opponent, you know, almost making the bottom half of a T, and you're completely like bladed to your opponent in the right position. That's why it's called a T, because it almost shapes a T. Forgot to say that. Usyk continuously exploiting the T-stance from Bellew, wraps left hooks around to his face and slips 2 hooks when Bellew comes in wild. Usyk pre-slips to the back foot as a head feint for Bellew. Bellew misses a right hand and Usyk connects with his own backhand. Usyk catches Bellew with a swivel jab and backhand near the turnbuckle. Usyk takes weak side angle on Bellew. Then Usyk jab, feints, and backhand. Usyk then disengages, bangs his head on Bellew's hip to thwart his assault and disengage. That's another good inside nuance from Usyk. Usyk uses head feint to set up backhand. Pre-slip to the front foot for Usyk, then a jab probe. Usyk follows Bellew out to the corner diagonally. Bellew's footwork is not that great at all. Usyk finally gets his front foot to the outside and pivots very much like Lomachenko. Usyk rocks Bellew with a backhand after his back leg leaves the canvas, almost flattens him. Usyk follows Bellew out diagonally, then uses a side step to cut off the ring. Usyk steps wide, pivots, takes weak side angle, and lands backhand on Bellew. Usyk perpetually following Bellew out diagonally. Theme of this fight, in addition to T-stance from Bellew, Usyk continues to capitalize. Bellew never adjusted. Backhand probe to the body from Usyk. Pre-slip to the outside and lands backhand to make it land more accurately on Bellew. Back foot pre-slip and disengagement from Usyk. Wants to see Bellew's reaction to him slipping the back foot, whether he takes the bait or not. Good pendulum bounce from Usyk out of range. Usyk actually places his glove on top of Bellew's glove to hold stationary in a sense and lands backhand to the solar plexus. Usyk not only great at controlling punch traffic, but uses hand manipulation to distract Bellew. Good backhand probe to block Bellew's vision and set up lead uppercut. Sidestep, jab probe from Usyk, backhand probe, swivel jab probe from Usyk. Jab, cross the body and weak side angle from Usyk, penetration step into backhand from Usyk. Now Bellew hanging his lead hand low, not engaging in jab joust anymore. Usyk has already beaten him mentally. Usyk spamming 1-2s at this point, Soviet style. Good backhand feint from Usyk. Usyk rocked Bellew out of T-stance with power jabs, starting to catch on a pattern of Bellew's. I see. Yeah, I mean, dude's footwork's kind of trash, especially considering he's a British fighter and they usually have pretty solid footwork, pretty dynamic footwork. That's actually pretty shocking. Usyk really starting to pounce on Bellew with a barrage of 1-2s again because of Bellew's use of the T-stance. Usyk clips Bellew, hard left hook out of Bellew's T-stance, end is near for Bellew, clips him with another left hook again. Usyk probes, level changes, probes with the lead hand, connects with swivel jab and double backhand. Jab, backhand, 1-2 ends fight for Bellew. T-stance costs him the fight, plus disadvantageous positioning. Now, time for the Dubois fight. This might be a very long pre-fight breakdown, just warning you now, so just buckle up. Usyk gets lead foot to the outside to land jab on Dubois, essential against southpaws. Dubois attempts to land jab and Usyk pendulum bounces out of range. Usyk doing a good job immediately getting past the lead hand of Dubois. Dubois feints lead hand, jab, and half shuffle, but Usyk smartly doesn't give up real estate and holds center ring. Shows how he improved from the Bellew fight. Usyk shuffle stepping in with the fencer jab and uses pre-slips on Dubois to just download info. Mostly quiet round thus far, but the fight obviously doesn't stay quiet. Excuse me. Good level change by Usyk in attempting to follow out Dubois diagonally. Usyk cross steps forward, not good. Against Dubois, almost gets caught in range. Usyk jabs to the lead hand. Usyk feints a half shuffle into range on Dubois. Usyk tries to almost pull down the lead hand of Dubois in the open stance. Usyk moves his head to the outside B slot to land straight left to the solar plexus of Dubois. Usyk double pre-slips to the lead foot and gets Dubois to bite down on the feint and jab to the side. Meanwhile, he hits air. Usyk's very, very slick. Almost as slick as Loma. And the reason why I keep comparing them is obviously because what I said before, they're both trained by Loma's father, and they're both very similar. They just have different habits, which make them different fighters as well as the weight. But anyway, let me continue. Usyk pre-slip to the back foot and lands backhand. Dubois clearly bites on his feint, eats backhand in the process. Usyk does a good job using a shield block on the lead hook. However, the slip would probably be better in the open stance. Usyk slips to the front foot, brings backhand closer and rocks Dubois. Usyk uses a jab probe into a jab feint and lands full hard jab on Dubois upstairs. He's just doing a great job with his jab and the punch traffic. Usyk feints the penetration step on Dubois, trying to get him to stay on his toes. I almost got it wrong there. Usyk level changes, then pre-slips back and forth to try to confuse Dubois as to which head slot he will be in. Body shot buckles Usyk's knees on the penetration step. Can't afford to do that against Fury, who is huge compared to him. That might be key. When Usyk comes in, one of the other mistakes I see him make is he leaves his body wide open. Fury might almost certainly take advantage of that, and he also seems like he doesn't really like it to the body. And that'll come up in a couple points later, but you'll see what I mean. Usyk probing with lead and backhand, clips Dubois with a sharp left cross. Good penetration feint from Dubois. Usyk doesn't fall for it, however, does fall for it, however, doesn't completely bite down on the feint. Then, drum roll please, the infamous nut shot from Dubois. Oh yeah, you knew it was coming, man. You know I had to mention it. This is a pre-fight breakdown, but you know, we gotta include some humor because, you know, the video is probably gonna be over 20 minutes long. But anyway, jokes aside, very clearly a nut shot, not a body shot. Dubois punched Usyk right in Johnson. But, however, I think he's probably won more rounds thus far than Bellew. Bellew probably won about 0 rounds. I'd give by this point at least 1 round to Bellew. I don't know exactly when the nut shot happened, but whenever he did it, he won at least a few rounds. Whether it was the 6th round, he won like maybe 2, or if it was earlier on, maybe 1. Which, for an inferior fighter to Usyk, that's pretty impressive considering how dominant he is regardless. Usyk now on the run, good slips to the C slot to avoid left hook from Dubois. Usyk framing the lead hand of Dubois to keep his jab hand back at home and not work to set up backhand left cross. Usyk wins jab joust, gets lead hand on top of Dubois, uses blinder. Dubois attempts a penetration step. Usyk slips to his left, away from Dubois' right, and lands overhand left of his own. Usyk frames high guard of Dubois with blinder and clips him with backhand. Probes the lead hand, does Usyk, and clips Dubois with backhand, has him backpedaling now. Usyk shells up to entice shots from Dubois. Dubois bites. Usyk slips to his back foot and lands crisp Soviet-style 1-2 on Dubois. Usyk lands jab and crisp left hook. Cross around the guard, almost like a swivel overhand, really more like an overhand left. Good sidestep from Usyk to follow Dubois out laterally. Usyk gets hit to the body and cross steps, but regains base immediately. Just proof positive that he's improved since his reign at cruiserweight. Good disengagement from Usyk to slip hook from Dubois. Dubois shooting up a single shield in the open stance. If Usyk can feint the jab, he can shoot a flurry of 1-2s and drive Dubois back. Stiff overhand left from Usyk. Usyk uses blinder on Dubois when his lead hand is down. Big no-no in the open stance and starts punishing him with a barrage of 1-2 serve to you via the Soviet style. Usyk jabs, then uses backhand as a sort of blinder on Dubois. Good arm frame from Usyk to offset Dubois' base. Usyk changes up force and velocity of his punches to make them just touches / scoring blows. A throwback to his amateur days, you know, because they prefer you just get scoring touches than trying to blow your opponent out of the water. Usyk feints a jab to get a good diagonal penetration step and lands backhand on Dubois. Usyk follows out Dubois diagonally, now Dubois on the run. Usyk puts down Dubois with an onslaught of 1-2s. The end is near for Dubois. Usyk parries away lead hand of Dubois. Good diagonal shift from Usyk trying to get weak side angle on Dubois. Doesn't matter. Dubois now giving up precious real estate. Right hook and left cross to the body from Usyk. Dubois, you know, as they said back in the day, Dubois on Queer Street now. I don't know what that means, but whenever a fighter got hurt, that's what they'd always say, you know, in old school Pernell Whitaker fights. I remember in Antonio Tarver and Roy Jones fight, they said that, but regardless, Usyk's step around game is unreal, continuously clipping him with 1-2s. If the end wasn't near before, it surely is now. Usyk finishes with one hard, sturdy power jab to finish off Dubois when he moves laterally with his base broken almost in a T stance in relation to Usyk. Plus the accumulation of shots by the end, Dubois didn't stand a chance. Now time for the Gypsy King, Fury. Also, I apologize if I make numerous cuts. I was using text-to-speech for most of the notes with Fury just because it's easier. The reason I'm going to be making multiple cuts is because I think I messed up some of the, or text-to-speech messed up some of the text with Fury, so I apologize in advance, but just letting you guys know now. Wallin's jab, and this is Fury versus Otto Wallin. Wallin's jab is immediately working very much like Usyk's in the open stance. Let's see how Fury responds. Fury trying to grab the hand of Wallin, very much how Usyk did to Bellew to stop him from winning the jab joust. Fury lands the first jab and starts feinting the jab. Surprisingly high IQ in the open stance considering he's huge. Fury feints, then lands jab, switching up the rhythm of his attack. He's got multiple dimensions to his outside game, but I think where Fury succeeds the best is close and on the inside, but I'll get into that in a second. Fury also probing Wallin's guard. Fury feints the half shuffle forward. Fury frames Wallin in an attempt to get out of corner and gain real estate. However, Wallin doesn't give up the distance how Fury would have liked, because Wallin was not backing down in this fight, very much how Usyk would not back down. Fury then frames Wallin with a hand frame / blinder to stop him from closing the distance and moves laterally. Fury uses a double jab and frames Wallin to stop him from closing the distance again. Fury feints the jab and half shuffle forward. Fury frames Wallin's head and lands underhook on the inside. Fury consistently using his distance to not let Wallin in. Telltale sign of what he will do to Usyk, minus Usyk's head movement being better than Wallin. The way Wallin tries to follow out Fury diagonally and controls punch traffic is very reminiscent of how Usyk would probably try to attack Fury. Shout out my man Ben Robo. He put me onto all these fights, and I feel like it's giving me the best idea of who would win in this fight. Also, great lateral movement from Fury. Wallin, already adjusting to Fury's lead hand control, slipped under it and closed the distance. Can be a very telltale sign on how Usyk attacks him and how the rest of the fight goes. Fury jabbing and parrying away the lead hand of Wallin. Fury moves to southpaw to stop dealing with jab joust, has some success, and makes sure to hold phone in closed stance. Haven't seen anything bad thus far from Fury. Wallin clips Fury with double jab in the closed stance. Fury needs to be careful because Usyk will follow up with a barrage of 1-2s, not just a double jab. Fury uses head feints as a precursor to his jab, very much like Usyk, but in a different way. Fury's lead hand is elite, very much like Usyk, especially in the open stance. Good stiff jab from Fury when most people's jab just goes away, a la Devin Haney. Good stiff jab from Fury. Fury has a real problem holding the phone in the closed stance, cannot do it again against Usyk. I know I was complimenting it before, but that was only that one time. Seems like he has a real problem holding the phone against the southpaw when he switches to southpaw. Fury also not circling the correct side of Wallin. Even in the closed stance, he should be circling left to offset Wallin's balance and offense. Good left hook from Fury, catching Wallin on the penetration step. Wallin attempts to frame Fury, and then Fury smartly ties up Wallin. Good feint to the body from Fury. Fury feints right hook, then lands 1-2 on Wallin, smartly changing the trajectory from his feints to his punches. Great 1-2 flurry from Wallin, very reminiscent of Usyk. You can see the similarities between Fury, Bellew, and Dubois. They both have long posting jabs. They both stand up relatively straight. They don't pivot much like an American fighter. They have great lateral movement like a British fighter. That's some similarities I see, as well as they have great traditional footwork. They don't pivot as much as an American fighter. Fury closes the gap on the penetration step and lands 1-2 on Wallin. Sidestepped, and Fury feints the jab with a good head feint. Good blinder post from Fury. Long 1-2 on Wallin. Wallin also pre-slips like Usyk a bit. very much in the same manner, just side to side and doubling up on one side at times and kind of opening by pre-slipping, not doing it in the middle of a fight like how some fighters would. Wallin also backs up straight a bit like Usyk when he disengages, although Usyk doesn't give up nearly as much real estate, and that could also be a telltale sign of how Fury will attack Usyk. Great 1-2 from Fury, catching Wallin on the penetration step. Great cross guard from Fury. He's doing a good job defending body shots now from Wallin. Good IQ and adjusting to Wallin's consistent body attack. Wallin slipping to the back foot. He definitely wants to slip to that lead foot. He definitely wants to target the cut on the right eye of Fury. His backhand, watch out for that. That's another thing with Fury, is that he got cut real bad in this fight. This probably, besides the 3 Riddick Bowe fights with Holyfield, is probably the best heavyweight fight I've ever seen. Now Fury framing or clinching out of desperation because of the huge gash on his eye from left hook from Wallin. As I predicted, Wallin slips to the lead foot and attempts to land backhand. No dice this time, but definitely landed next time or eventually. Wallin throws a left hook to the cut, as I thought, slipped to the lead foot and is targeting the cut. The right eye of Fury now, also very much like Usyk. Wallin is putting his lead hand on top of Fury's lead hand in the open stance in an attempt to win the jab joust, and mentally putting a strain on Fury where his lead hand is on top of Fury's lead hand so he can get his jab off more and hit and make Fury hesitate to jump in and do the penetration step and get his offense off. Good swivel jab from Wallin. Wallin also doing a good job punching to the lead hand of Fury. Clean straight left from Wallin, and Fury now doing a good job of holding the phone to thwart any sort of follow-up from Wallin to his cut. Wallin finally slips to the lead foot and lands overhand left on Fury. Now he's starting to really attack that cut, and now he's starting to find his range a bit. Obviously, Fury, given the size difference, is going to make it difficult on Wallin. Wallin opens the round with a left hook to the cut on Fury's eye. He's making life hell for Fury. Wallin parries away lead hand of Fury, similar to how Usyk would do in the open stance. Wallin frames Fury's head with a head frame and lands double underhook on Fury. Wallin lands double back hand on Fury and clinches out of desperation. Good frame from Fury to land body shots on the inside and push Wallin to the corner. Still high IQ even when hurt. Fury cross steps out of orthodox to southpaw and base is squared. Right in front of Wallin, however, he does land a great left hook out of southpaw. Fury showing his elite inside game while he tries to tight up. Wallin, right hand, he slips. Hold on. Fury showing his elite inside game while Wallin tries to tie up Fury. Fury slips his right hand free and starts unloading underhooks on the inside. Fury's starting to claw his way back into this fight slowly but surely. Fury uses jab to temporarily occupy the guard or vision of Wallin. He then frames the back of Wallin's head and follows up with a stiff backhand in the open stance. Fury probes again and lands stiff backhand on Wallin. Fury does a good roll into a pull to start defending the jab against Wallin. He's starting to adjust mid-fight against Wallin. Good shit from Fury. This is where I think Fury would start to give Usyk problems. He's starting to mount a consistent body assault on Wallin, starting with a left hook, right hook, and finishes with the left hook upstairs. He's definitely starting to get back in this fight slowly, but surely, which is what he might try to do against Usyk. Good underhook, forearm check across the neck from Fury. Great head frame and uppercut from Fury. Good swivel jab and backhand out of southpaw from Fury. Good left hook, right hook from Fury. Fury uses head and body weight to back up Wallin. Arm frame to land 2 body shots and head frame to block his vision. Fury employing similar tactics to Roberto Duran, I guess that's how you say his name, sometimes using his head on the inside to simply back up his opponent or get more shots on the inside and back them into disadvantageous positions, as I pointed out in my last point. Good frame to back, good arm frame back up Otto Wallin into disadvantageous positioning. Good arm check from Fury to land left hook, check left hook on the inside. Fury following out Wallin diagonally. Fury starts combination with overhand right, then lands left hook, right overhand, and finishes off with left hook. Fury keeping his lead hand somewhat low, which is a big no-no in the open stance. He got hit with the jab, however, and his combination on Wallin. Left hook, right hook combo, however, base is square and somewhat in front of Wallin. 1-2 from Fury, frame and left hook to the body. Good fencer jab from Fury. Good pendulum bounce from Fury to disengage Wallin. Fury disengages and double shuffles diagonally. In range, takes weak side on Wallin and lands jab to the body. Left hook, right hook to the body from Fury. Arm frame in the head. Frame landing underhook to the chin of Otto Wallin. Wallin framing the back of Fury's head and landing underhooks on the inside. However, I don't know how much of a factor it will be the Fury and Usyk fight, since Usyk doesn't really show this tendency. Basically what I said. Fury showing even more dimensions on the inside in the clinch. He ties up Wallin. Wallin ties out of desperation on Fury. Fury smartly spins him around, starts backing him up, and leans his weight on him. And when they break, Fury leans left hook on Wallin. A little dirty, but very good, nuanced. Something Roberto Duran would definitely do. Fury rocks Wallin with a hard right uppercut, frames him with a blinder, then unloads a barrage of 1-2s on Wallin. Fury frames and lands a barrage of left hooks and right hooks on Wallin. Fury now doing a great job of defending the backhand. Wallin backpedaling. This is how, if it keeps going. Okay, I don't have to really talk about that. Good body shot from Fury into an underhook and frame on Wallin. Fury frames Wallin, then hit swelling with right hook, right hook combination downstairs, and finishes upstairs. Fury frames Wallin, back him up, hit him with 1-2, then finishes off with right hook on the inside. Fury probes Wallin, 1-2, frames him again, then backs him up to disadvantageous position, then finishes off with left hook, right hook combination. Good frame from Fury to put Wallin in a disadvantageous position. Fury quite literally uses his head to bull Wallin back and lands flurry on him. Right hook, left hook, uppercut, right uppercut, and then finishes off with right hook. Fury frames the back of Wallin's head and unloads a series of left to right hook combinations. Surprised that Wallin is able to withstand this kind of punishment. He's getting his ass kicked at this point. You could easily score the 10th round at 10-8, which is what I think edged the fight for Fury, in my opinion, even though some of those scorecards were ridiculous. Good frame from Fury to try to offset Wallin. Wallin coming in strong late for sure. And that's basically the end of the Fury breakdown and the Usyk breakdown. And unfortunately, this video is going a lot longer than I really wanted it to, but these are probably some of the most skilled fighters I've ever broken down, and definitely the most skilled heavyweights I've ever broken down. So finally, what do I think? What are my final thoughts? Who do I think wins, and how do I think they win? Let's break it down. In conclusion, I think between Fury's size, his ability to frame off his lead hand and his control of the punch traffic, and his ability to move laterally, coupled with his size, probably will be too much for Usyk. As good a fighter as Usyk is, I think Fury will simply be too much for him. As much as I want to see Usyk win, I think Fury beats him over 12. Fury by UD or MD. This is Fightsci signing out.